So, good evening, you wonderful people. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are here live, like all these beautiful people I can see leaving me comments on Facebook. If you're listening or you're watching on the Acts on This TV audio experience or YouTube or on the Facebook replay or Twitter or wherever else you just stumble across this broadcast, thank you so much for joining us. Come and join us one Monday night, 9 p.m. till 10 p.m, where we do this live on all Acts on This social media, basically, mainly Facebook and Twitter, but also on LinkedIn and all kinds of stuff like that. Just search for Acts on This TV, all one word, on any social media platform, and you will find us. Ethan, I can see you've just joined on Facebook. How you doing, mate? I hope you're good. Shannon Park's in the house. Maya, rhymes with fire, is here. Maya, hope you're good. It was Maya. You were doing not Corrie, wasn't it? Emmerdale. You did Emmerdale recently. You were looking for the footage the other day. I'm sure it was you. I didn't know you'd done that, but congrats on that. Rachel says, "Hi Ross, I listened to your session with Andy Nyman on the train back to London today and loved it. Andy was great, wasn't he? Guys, if you've not been keeping up with what's been going on actsonthis.tv recently, like get yourself over. Look, let me take you over to the website because my God, we've had some cracking features. If you don't know what Acts on This is, by the way, ultimately, just the most, the insane value in the acting industry, full stop. 7 sessions a month on Zoom with the biggest names in the industry for less than you will pay for one from practically anyone else in the industry. So have a look at what's going on. Showreel Surgery, Chris Stone was with us last week. This is where we look at members' showreels and we make sure that everybody's showreel is popping. Chris Stone is, without a doubt, in my opinion, the best showreel producer in the UK, and he really knows what he's doing when it comes to filming showreels and editing showreels. I'll play you a little clip out of that in a minute if you missed it. If you are a member and you have missed it, go into your members area. You'll find the full 2.5 hour replay of that. It's great because you get to see what other actors are sending to casting directors and agents as well, so you can kind of see where your material stacks up. I'm a big believer in you only competing with yourself, but as you know, we've got to be realistic, haven't we, as well? You know, yes, of course, you're only trying to be better than you were yesterday. However, you obviously need to stand up to the competition and your peers and contemporaries who are also up for the same roles as you. That's just being realistic. So it's good to see what other people are sending out. Colleen Crawford, one of the biggest casting directors in TV and film, was on the week before that. Andy Nyman was who we were just talking about. Rachel was just talking about there. Absolute incredible. Olivier Award-winning actor. And also just an incredible person as well, because he directs, he produces, he works. He's just started working with Darren Brown. Again, he's produced all of Darren Brown's stuff and written all of Darren Brown's, collaborated with him on his huge feats of magic. He's a great magician, Andy, as well. Melissa Johns was on the week before that. Johnny Weldon, who everyone will know if you're an actor from Twitter, was on the week before that. We had Mildred Yen from United Agents. I mean, just the biggest names in the industry. And we've got even more of the biggest names in the industry coming up for you over the next, I've booked out at least the next 6-7 weeks worth of sessions. So do come and get involved in the community if you are not already. Brian Shaw's in the house. Brian is a new member. Brian's smashing it. Brian, you better be ready to smash it. He's a new member. He's like, right, come on, we're going for it. And I'll see you on Saturday as well, mate. There's quite a few people here. I'm going to answer some questions. I'm not here just to flog Acts on This to you, but I feel if I'm not telling you about this, I'm doing you a disservice. The last thing I'll just mention before we start jumping into some Q&A, because that's what I want to do with you guys tonight. Basically, I've not got too much planned. I like to keep one of these sessions every 6 weeks or so very loose, where we just chat amongst ourselves and cover stuff that you really want to cover. So we're going to be doing that tonight. But I will just mention, for people who are interested, this is a commitment if you get involved in this. It's a fair investment in your career as well, that I do not take lightly. But next weekend, if you've not heard already, I'm going to be running a 2-day event. It's a real in-depth 16-hour event. So it's not for the faint-hearted. It's 2 days you'll have to really commit to. It's all recorded if you can't, be there for the whole thing. But it's for any actor looking to get their first TV role, in terms of if you're like, I have tried everything. I'm doing everything that everyone's telling me to do. And you're spending money on all these workshops, and you're doing all this stuff, and you think you've got a showreel that's working for you, but you don't know why it's not getting you through the door. It might not be working for you. What you're doing might not be working. Somebody might never have taught you the business side of this business and actually how to market yourself. I'm running an event next weekend called First TV Role Fast Track Live 2021, where I literally take you through an exact blueprint of how I landed I always say like my first sort of 12, 15 TV roles in this industry, but it's not, because, you know, I still use these tactics today. We're about 30 odd TV roles in, decent roles as well, and I still use these tactics. I shot a drama called Independence Day the Saturday before last, so just over a week ago. A new BBC drama starring Ruth Madeley, and I used the tactics that I share in this project, you know, to help with booking that as well. So if you want to get involved, you want to find out all about it, if you go to actonthis.tv/first role, FIRSTROLE, you can read all about it. You really need to read about it though, because like there is a ton involved with it. There's a lot of bonuses and stuff involved with it as well. And I did a training on Saturday that technically I've took down, but it was a free training to sort of give you a taster. I will put it back up for 24 hours for you guys who have bothered to show up tonight if you want to go and just check it out, so you get a taste of what we're going to be covering on next weekend. And you can find that at actonthis.tv/replay. actonthis.tv/replay. So you can go to those two places. I'll leave the first role URL up on the bottom of the screen for those people who are watching the video, and then the training that I did at the weekend. Go and watch the replay. I'll leave it up until tomorrow evening for you for 24 hours, but that's on this.tv/replay. So that's the housekeeping for this evening. Helen said, love the session with Chris Stone. He's a bit more than I can afford right now, so don't know whether to hang on for a few months or go to a less expensive option for now. For getting a showreel shot, Helen, it's a tricky one. Choose wisely. I certainly, you know, Chris isn't the only showreel producer in the UK who produces good stuff. He's the, you know, I think he's absolutely the best, if not like, you know, joint best with a couple of other people. But yeah, he is expensive. But you do, in my opinion, in a lot of things in life, it's that old adage, isn't it, of like, you know, buy cheap, buy twice. But talking about that, I mean, why don't I play you a little clip of what we did the other night on Showreel Surgery. Here's like a little... we do this every quarter for members of actonthis.tv, where we just basically talk about showreels, talk about what's going on in the industry, and then we play out members' showreels from the community, look at what's good and what's working for them and what isn't, what could be improved. Chris imparts his wisdom. It goes a little bit like this. Here's a 2-minute clip of what you missed. In my opinion, the very best showreel producer in the UK, Mr. Chris Stone, back for another episode of Showreel Surgery Live. Chris, how are you? I always show a new scene that you have shot.
This is as close to James as possible. We had a very, very long conversation. James is such the nicest guy ever, but we really figured out what his casting type is.
Repairman, meet my agent, Andrew Adams. Andrew, meet Repairman.
Hello, my name's Dennis, and I'm an actor, and I'm seeking representation.
What's new in the world of showreels, and what things are tripping actors up?
This is an interesting one. I don't think we've ever discussed this before, but couples in real life don't necessarily work well on film.
Some very basic showreel like secrets here, and you can take a screenshot of these things. There's only 8 of them, and I just want you to think of these when we are watching these reels tonight, okay?
Well, it sounds to me like you were counting down the days.
No, not exactly. See, the thing is, I saw that boy do so much more than I thought he ever would. When he was first diagnosed, they gave him 4 years to live, and in the end, he had nearly 6.
Even though I really like the first scene with the son, try and put Corrie first.
It's very straightforward. The majority of it goes to Tess as his lawful wedded wife, and the rest of it's divided equally between the 3 children.
Sorry, what do you mean 3 children?
Oh. The cheating bastard!
Siobhan Finner is one of the biggest actresses in the country, Tim. So you've got absolutely... Casting directors will breathe a sigh of relief when they see people like this, you playing those supporting roles, because like, I can completely trust him.
I need to know who you really are.
Boom, headshot.
Who is he?
Bang.
It's a great cliffhanger ending, because it's like, who is he? I want to know.
John's got there. John Joseph Showreel Edit 2021. Bernard says Showreel 2020. Lindsay says 2021. I would take the dates out of the reels. Boom. So if you want to watch the whole 2.5-hour session with Chris, and there were some cracking show reels in that, actonthis.tv, get your membership and you can unlock the full chat. But yeah, it's just like show reels are just always a work in progress, aren't they? They're never finished. It's not something where you can just go, right, I've got one edit of my show reel, it's done now. You will be editing your show reel, improving it, adding stuff to it, taking stuff away can equally make it more powerful when you've got, stuff in there that is not serving you well. Maybe you thought it was, you left that footage in too long. You've got something that's overly dramatic when really looking for a comedy role right now, etc. You've got to be tweaking, having different versions of your reel sometimes as well. But it is super, super interesting watching what other people are sending out, and you'll get to see 6 Act on This members' reels within that replay. Josh says he booked on to the first TV role fast track last night. Now he can't wait for the weekend. Josh, it's going to be freaking incredible, mate. I've just been going over the second day. So the second day of first TV role fast track. The first day is an 8-hour deep dive with me on landing your first TV role. The second day we've got loads of guests. So we've got people like Peter Hunt, the head of Hollyoaks casting, Mickey Jones, one of the best serial drama directors in the game. Chris Stone himself is coming back to look at show reels for day player parts. We've got Tony Blake, who's one of the best headshot photographers in the country. It's going to be amazing, man. I cannot wait, Josh. I will see you there, mate. 10 till 5 both days, but I reckon it's probably going to go over because I can chat. How much is Chris, says Shannon? I think he's about £400 a scene. But Shannon, if you couple up with, obviously you're going to be shooting a scene with another actor. If you find another actor who is in the market for a showreel scene, you guys can just split the cost. So yes, it's £200. But Chris writes everything bespoke, so it's written literally for you. It's shot beautifully, it sounds amazing, it's broadcast quality effectively, all post-produced and color graded, looks great. But he is expensive, but he's a filmmaker. He's not just someone who's gone out. Sometimes in this industry, just to be blunt with you, you get actors who decide they're going to do something on the side and they go, oh, well, I'll shoot showreels for other actors. And they just go out and buy a camera, Shannon, and they've got all the gear and absolutely no idea what they're doing. So yeah, Chris is a filmmaker, not just a guy with a camera. So you will get a really good result from him. James Churchill's in the house. James is here. He was the guy you saw in that showreel scene. I love the showreel scene, James. And it's good to hear that you're getting self-tapes already, mate. I saw you put that video out, which meant the world, that you gave me a little shout out in to say that you you got that self-tape audition, from a great casting director. I don't know exactly what it was. Obviously, you couldn't say, but fair play, mate. Keep working hard. Hard work makes the dream work. Shannon says, after this weekend, I'm going to save up to get proper show reels done suited for me. Yeah, Shannon, you're on the fast track as well, aren't you? I'm sure you are. I think you are. I'm sure you are. I've emailed you, haven't I? I lose track so much of people's names and everything like that. So yeah. I'm sure you have, though. Oh, what was that question? Someone asked a question there that I just missed. Henrietta says, I pay for the class. How to get first year? When do you start the class? It's this Saturday and Sunday, Henrietta. Don't forget, it's the 14th and 15th. From Wednesday onwards, I'm going to be sending loads of stuff out. We're going to be opening up a new Facebook group. You're going to get invites and everything like that. You'll get the workbook sent through. So you don't worry. From this week onwards, everything will become clear. Jennifer says, does anyone else hate the sound of their own voice? Is this normal? It is so normal. When you are not shooting stuff regularly or doing voiceover. Got to remember, that's everyone in it. The first time you record something and play it back, even when you're a kid with a tape recorder, you're like, oh my God, is that me? Does it sound like that? That's totally normal. Just do it more. You'll get used to it. Alex says it keeps pausing for him. Anyone else, is it pausing for them? It's not pausing for me here, Alex, on my laptop here. Because what I do is I stream from my computer and I watch it on my laptop to make sure that it's working okay. And I think you just need to put another penny in the Wi-Fi meter, Alex. Speed your Wi-Fi up. Let us know if it's happening for anybody else. If it is, there's not a lot I can do there because I've just got a green signal from Facebook here, which means everything is good. Right, okay, so... there's a couple of other things that I'll talk about in a bit, but I want to throw it over to you tonight. So the whole point of this session for the next 40 minutes is to just do an Ask Me Anything kind of Q&A tonight, literally on anything you want. I've got a lot of experience in most areas of the industry, whether it's, well, not theatre actually, TV work, yes. Voiceover, a lot of. Just started work on a brand new kids animation. Marketing yourself, show reels, headshots, whatever you want to know. What are your biggest stumbling blocks, your biggest roadblocks right now? And let's all just have a little discussion. And it's not just me; everybody can kind of chime in. I can already see people in the comments on Facebook giving each other answers to questions and stuff. So so let me know what your questions are. James is starting off here. He says, "Hi all, I have my demo reel booked in for Thursday with a voiceover gallery." So this is voiceover, James, yeah? They aren't doing custom scripts at the moment, so I will have to find my own. Ooh, James, you're giving yourself 3 days. You need to work hard over the next 3 days to do this, James. Is there a copyright issue when finding scripts that advertise a product? Is there anything to stay away from? Any hints, tips would be greatly appreciated. Right, okay, James. So your voice reel, particularly if you're getting it done at the voiceover gallery, because they're my agents and they're absolutely freaking brilliant. It will more than likely contain 3 commercials, 2 corporate pieces, and 2 documentary pieces. I imagine that's what they've asked you to get. In terms of the products in your commercials, it's a little bit of a grey area, to be honest. There's not really anything that's going to be too much of a problem. No one's really going to come after you and go, right, that's it, we're going to sue you for using our name. If anything, if you produce a good reel, ultimately, if your performance is good, then the people whose products you're mentioning are just getting free advertising, and it's going to sound like you did an advert for them. What you can do if you want to be on the real safe side is replace the name of the the name of the product within it to something else. You could make up the name of your own washing powder. I don't know. Who's going to know? I don't know every brand of washing powder that's out there, or every chocolate bar that's out there, or every brand of car insurance. You could absolutely make something up, and people would probably just think it was normal. The voiceover gallery will be able to guide you on that. You shouldn't really have any issues when it comes to documentaries or the corporate pieces. I mean, the corporate pieces generally would just be they're generally sort of like anything from about us pages on a website to an instructional video, a helpline thing, a on hold message, whatever it would be. The whole key to this, though, James, is to make sure, God, it is so important. This is why 3 days is quite a short amount of time to do this, but it is so important that you align your voice with the brands that realistically you would be voicing. And they're very often, to do this quickly, they're very often the things that you use yourself. Because a lot of advertisers now, they want the person doing the voice to sound like the person buying the product. So that's why you'll get these really conversational adverts. So you get somewhere it's almost like two people down a coffee shop, and they'll be like, "Oh, Dave, managed to sell your car yet?" "Oh, no, I haven't, Alan. I'm in a load of trouble, actually." "Oh, have you heard of WeBuyAnyCar.com?" "Oh, no, what's that?" "Oh, well, they offer blah, blah, blah." And it's almost like, they want them to feel like they want the people listening to the advert to feel like the people in the advert are them. So it's like they can instantly picture themselves using that. So have a look at what you use, the foods you eat, the clothes you wear, the shampoo you use, whatever it is, and align yourself with that. Have a look at those kind of things. And also, when it comes to regional accents as well, certain regional accents are used more than others in various sectors of the industry. So have a look at where you would suit. I could definitely see you with doing, I don't know, you play the mechanic in that showreel scene. So maybe, a B&Q advert, something like that, talking about, I don't know, some bank holiday sale weekend at B&Q, whatever. You'd really suit that. Or a Screwfix advert, some of the sort of tradey type of brands, I think would work well for you. But be guided by the voiceover gallery, because they're just one of the best in the industry. They changed my life, that company. I just owe them an awful lot for my voiceover career, but they will be able to help you with that. Only thing I wouldn't do, never record 2 conflicting brands. So you would never do an Asda and a Tesco commercial on the same reel. That in the industry is a no-no. So if you've done an Asda advert, you won't be allowed to do a Tesco advert or whatever. If you've got any campaigns that are out there that are conflicting, you shouldn't, you can't kind of do that. For those people who are under 25, you'll never get asked to do anything in the gambling world until you're over 25, I think. And there's things like that. You can't be in an advert anyway, at least be in it in vision until you're over 25. So there's quite a few things to think about. But yeah, your scripts are so crucial. The scripts and the alignment with them and, to your voice really are the make or break between that voice reel sitting on your hard drive that you've paid loads of money for and earning you nothing back, and a voice reel that just gets you work time and time and time and time and time and time again. and once in the voiceover world, once you've got a reel that is working for you, it's amazing because you'll very rarely have to change it. I don't think I've changed my voice reel in probably about 6 years. It regularly gets me work every week, and it does the auditioning for you. So you very often, occasionally, you'll get to have to do a custom demo for a client, but a lot of the time, my agent just will send it out to clients. They will choose me. I'll get a call or an email off Katie, my agent. It'll be like, there's a job. So it's nice compared to the acting industry where it's like very few straight offers come in. The voiceover industry is a little bit different. Right. So, and James has got some scripts already. Well, that's good. Good. Sandra, how you doing? Which is good. How do you use your new voice reel to generate work? Says Andrew. So it would be, obviously once you've got a quality reel, you want to be sending it out to agents. It's a lot easier if you have an agent, and that's obviously where a lot of the bigger, the higher priced work comes through agents. Big companies tend to like to deal with big agents as opposed to going direct to the client. But there are a lot of sites out there like Bidalgo, Voices 123, Voice Bunny, Mandy Voices, where you can apply for voice work all day, every day. That requires you to put the graft in, though. You've got to sit at your desk or in your booth, your homemade booth that you make at home, which doesn't have to be complex and loads of money, by the way. I literally do voiceover from my wardrobe, and the space sounds fantastic. And you have to be quick, though. So a brief will generally go out on Bidalgo or something like that. And that's just a pay-to-play website for voiceover artists. And then you've got to get your demo in quick because there'll be a lot of people racing to get their demos in, to get the job. So if you can block out 2 days a week where you're just going to sit there, wait for things to come in, record and send, then it can still work out really good. I know a lot of people who literally that is their living, and they just get to earn a living sat in a wardrobe in their boxer shorts, earning cash. Quick fit, says Alex for James. Yeah, that'd be good. You know what I'm talking about, Alex. You know what I'm talking about. Definitely. Let's have a look. Lindsay, thanks for the shout out. She says, anyone in here not a member of Acts on This, I highly recommend joining. I took control, found my agent, and I'm now working on a Netflix drama until the end of October. Take control. It works. Ross is so motivating. Lindsay, you're a ledge. I didn't pay her to say that. Thank you very much, Lindsay. I appreciate that. And Liz says, got my first spotlight credit with my agent last week. First trip to London and overnight stay. Loved it. Nice one, Liz. Wicked. Look, I love hearing that. That's amazing. Right, okay, so we've sort of covered a bit of voiceover. What else are people kind of like, I don't know, curious about? Or is there something, is like a recurring theme in your career, that just a block that you just keep hitting again and again and again? Angela's got a question here. How would you start your show reel? You would start it with, I'm a big believer in this, Angela. You always should start your reel, particularly in like the early stages of your career, with a scene that is as close to you as possible. So not a crazy dramatic scene where you're fighting someone, you're in a domestic violent relationship, there's a fire, there's a car crash, none of this. It has to be in your own accent as well. Ultimately, you don't want to confuse anybody in the first few seconds of your reel for like who you actually are as a person, what you're actually like, what accent you are, where you're from. It should have a hook. So you should be the first person in it speaking, usually. We should be seeing you before we see anybody else. We should recognize who you are from the headshot you have at the start of your show reel. But you want to get a real flavor for just who you are as a person. And then throughout the reel, you can move further away from that. If you watch the show reel surgery that we did the other day, there's some great examples where people get that spot on in the reel. There's some other examples where they've got the order wrong and it's a little bit confusing for what their brand is, what their type is. I think actors forget sometimes. There's a saying that an American guy I know uses, because we say niche in the UK, they say niche. It's pronounced niche in America, and he says, Ross, the riches are in the niches. And what he means by that is like you can try and be as an actor everything to everyone, and you'll just never work because you'll never be quite right in any role. It's kind of like you're just trying, jack of all trades, innit? Whereas if you really nail your niche or your niche, you'll become rich, or the riches are in the niches. Because you'll get employed time and time again for the same thing, right? In my head, my ego wants me to believe, oh yeah, I'm really cool, and I could be the sexy lead and Superman. And like, that's just my ego. My reality is, Ross, you're a little bit clumsy. You speak quite a lot like Alan Partridge, and you look a bit like Anton de Beck. Probably not the smoothest, sexiest guy in the world. But when you embrace that and you go, right, okay, I have a bit of a squeaky clean image, or slightly authoritarian in terms of, like, you know, I've made a career out playing policemen and doctors and lawyers and businessmen. And I have two choices, I believe, anyway, just my opinion and my tactics in the industry. I'd rather work week after week after week. I mean, that would be a luxury. It's not really. Month after month after month as an actor. Time and time and time again, and earn my living 100% from the acting industry and the voiceover industry. I mean, I do, thank God, touch wood, for many years now I've done nothing else. For 11 years, I used to have to work at the computer game shop. I was earning minimum wage, like an hour there. I was being spoken to like a piece of shit. People were throwing Xboxes at me when they were faulty. It was horrible, really horrible existence. Working with the public isn't. Anyone here who works is in the service industries, hats off to you, like, and hang in there, like, until you can get out of there. But don't get complacent. I got a bit complacent and ended up almost sort of just I don't know, what's the word, surrendering to go, oh no, if I want to be an actor, I just have to work a shit job. You don't. You can find, I started working for casting directors and more people within the industry eventually. But hats off to you guys who are in the service industry, because it can be absolutely demoralizing. So I did that for 11 years. Now, you know, when I, like we were talking about before, took control of my career and went, no, actually, you know what? My destiny hasn't been written for me. I'm the only one who can kind of write it. Right, you know what? I'm going to save up 3 months' wages and I'm out. And whatever happens, I'm going to make it work. And if it doesn't work, what's the worst that can happen? I can go and get another shit job to pay my rent. So yeah. I can't remember exactly what was I talking about? What my point is there. That was the point. Is that, you know, I'm lucky that all I do is earn money from the voiceover in the acting industry, and that pays for everything. But that's only because I've niched down and I know my place in the industry, really. And it's not saying you can't, you know, explore other areas. And of course you can. You can collaborate with other people. And if the industry's not giving you an opportunity at the all-action Superman hero part, you know, go make that with somebody else. You know, you get together with some friends and experiment and play around. But for me, it's about niching down, really niching down, and your showreel should be that, where we get an instant flavour of who you are, and then throughout, yes, we show versatility and variety, but by the end of it, we should really have a flavour for exactly the kind of roles you can play, not 12 different things in 12 different accents. So actually, by the end of it, we go, I have no idea who that person is. So that's a long-rooted way of saying start your showreel with a piece close to yourself, basically. Right, let's have a look. Alex says, would you say it's best to put that kind of scene first on your reel, or would you put your day player scene first, since that's what you're aiming for at the current time? Alex, have I missed something else? So if you've aligned your day player character, so day players are literally sort of, you know, more of there's about 50 types of day player roles. So the more of the procedural roles that you see in serial drama, you know, in the 1 to 3 scenes, you know, per episode, the copper who comes in, the paramedic, you know, maybe the prison guard or the delivery person or the journalist or whatever. If you've aligned your day player role with yourself correctly, you should still, and I believe yours does, Alex, the nurse scene that you've got is still you. It's a scene still close to you. Like, that's, you know, that's not like you being a Cockney gangster when you're from Manchester and you're just a nice guy. So yeah, I think that's totally fine to start your reel with that. And you can also experiment with reels as well, guys. That's what I think. There's a confusion. This is something I want to say. There's almost a confusion with a lot of actors where they think they almost think that it's possible to have a perfect reel, and they can only have one. This is my reel. It's like, it's probably impossible to have a perfect reel for a start, and you can have 3-4 cuts using the same material but putting stuff in a different order, extending scenes, shortening scenes. You know, I've got an entire reel of just police scenes that I have on my spotlight, so people can quickly see that, as opposed to going, oh, Ross looks like he could do a good copper. Has he got anything on his reel that's a copper? Why don't you just have like an entire reel of coppers? You can have 20 minutes of footage on your spotlight profile now. Everybody can have that. It used to only be available to people who had previously paid for extra time on their video footage. Now we've all got it. 20 minutes, in the back end, and you can display it on the front end. And the nice thing is as well is you can hide footage from the front end. So say, for instance, you're sending your spotlight off to a specific, answering a specific brief that day. And you go, oh God, I've got like 10 clips on my thingy, but I really want on my spotlight, but I really want them to see this one. So say, for instance, I had, a whole reel of police scenes, and I had a comedy reel, and I had I don't know, what else could I have? Like a dramatic reel, then I could have, a foreign language reel and a skills reel. And I'm like, there's a chance they're going to miss the police reel here. I just go into the back end of Spotlight, hide everything else by my main reel and my police reel, and then I send my Spotlight link to the casting director looking for the policeman. I know he's going to see it, or she's going to see it. So you can get pretty specific with the way you market yourself, but don't think that there's only one reel that you can have, and don't think that it'll ever be perfect and that you'll never be working on it all the time. Brian says, do your Alan Partridge. Brian, tip of the day, don't throw water on a chip pan fire, Brian. It'll quite literally take your face off. Love a bit of Partridge. I like to play Fernando Partridge. If Fernando Partridge, Alan's son, is ever anything. Marie, how you doing? Says, what sort of things do you say in the cover letter on the pay-to-play sites? So, what are you talking about? Voiceover, or are you talking about acting? Because ultimately, any when you're submitting a demo, on a Voiceover like pay-to-play site, or maybe you're applying for something that's on Mandy or whatever, if you're just starting off in your career, or even on Spotlight, because there is a section where you can add additional comments when you're putting yourself forward for something on Spotlight. If you're not represented and you're getting Spotlight links sent through, you can you can sub yourself. It would just be anything that's relevant. Simple as that. Any relevant skills. Maybe you're applying for a period piece, and you know that it's, I don't know, something like The Witcher. It's a fantasy thing, and you've got combat skills, and you think there's a high chance that they're probably going to be used in this kind of thing. You could mention that, or maybe you have horse riding skills, or whatever it would be. Anything that's a unique selling point that you believe would make you stand out amongst the crowd is what you should put in there. If you don't have any of that, then you don't even need to write anything. As long as you're subbing either the self-tape that you've been told to do, or your show reel if you've been asked for that. Don't need to overthink it. You don't always have to write something there. Zoe says, how should an actor who suffers with anxiety deal with conflict in the industry? Just on a show where the director removed a cast member 2 weeks before a show, and the conflict in the cast made it an uncomfortable... Oh, this is really interesting, Zoe. I love stuff like this when it comes to sort of mindset and just dealing with your own emotions. Because as actors, with it probably the only job where you not only have you have two sets of emotions to deal with. So you have your character's emotions, and then you have behind the scenes your own emotions. So sort of like, and every emotion affects every other emotion. So it's like, if you're doing a comedy and you broke up with your boyfriend or your girlfriend before you go on stage, are you going to be in a mood to do comedy? So it's really interesting how you've got to control not only your own emotions, but then harness those emotions to then portray a character. I find it absolutely fascinating. So you said, so it made you, so the getting rid of the cast member made it extremely anxiety-provoking. Any advice to deal with conflict? My advice on anything to do with sort of mindset, God, there's so much. I actually did a program I brought out for actors in 2015 called Bulletproof Actor, which was all about mindset. I believe mindset is everything. It's really sort of like the building block for any success in any area of life. I think there's two things you kind of do in a situation like that. The first one would be to face, almost as a cast, I would face any conflict like that head on and go. I just think one way to diffuse any conflict is through communication. So if there's almost an elephant in the room that no one's speaking about, but everybody's feeling, the second you come together and you talk about it, then it disappears. So I don't know what that was like if it was one cast member. So you said that the director removed a cast member. Maybe that cast member was a problem and was turning up late and was letting everybody else down or whatever. But by removing them, everyone else thought, oh my God, like I'm going to be removed next. What if it gets rid of me next? That is hard, but sometimes that 5-minute conversation, that 5-minute burn that you will feel just can get rid of everything and make the next 3, 4 weeks, 4 months, a year of your life like so much better. There's so many things. There'll be people on here now. I know someone listening to this, because I've been at a stage in my life where I've had this, who is listening to this or watching this now, who is facing some conflict in their life that could really be solved with a 5-minute conversation, but they've not quite got the courage yet to have that conversation with the person they need to have it with, for fear of them flipping out, going crazy, upsetting them, offending them, whatever it would be. And then that person is living with physical turmoil within their body because they're holding on to that inside them, not allowing themselves to get it out. And they end up resenting that other person. The person doesn't even know they're being resented. Whereas if you just had the courage to have that 5-minute chat with someone and say, listen, can I just talk to you about this? You know what it's like. I've had this so much over lockdown. I live on my own. You know, sometimes when you've got a little problem in your life and you live on your own, and particularly in lockdown where you're not really allowed out, how much better does it feel to just share whatever that little problem is you're experiencing with someone else on the phone, on FaceTime, whatever it is, just getting it out of your mouth into the world, and someone else, just one other person hearing it. It just makes it feel so much better. So I feel anxiety can be dealt with like that, without a doubt. The other form of anxiety is just fear of consequence, in terms of fear of something going wrong, fear forgetting their lines, people fear all these kind of things that stops them from enjoying the moment that they are in. So they got, how many times do you get off stage and you're like, God, I don't even know, I can't remember what happened there. Because you weren't really present or in it. I mean, sometimes that can happen because you are so present in it, but a lot of the times actors come off like just so pleased that they got through their lines. They didn't actually enjoy the performance. They're just so happy they forgot their lines. So to get rid of that fear, one thing is just preparation, without a doubt. You know, if you're prepared, a lot of that fear will just go away. You can get excited because you know you've done the work. And the other thing is realizing that no matter what happens, you'll deal with it. When you think back to times in your life where really bad things have happened, maybe you've lost a parent, or you've had a really horrific breakup, or you've lost loads of money, or whatever it would be, where you've gone, God, if someone had told me the day before that was going to happen, I'd have been like, I can't cope with that. But you did. It happened, and you're still here on the 9th of August, 2021. You're still here. You're fighting. You coped with that. That means when you go into any situation, really you can be confident that no matter what happens, particularly in an acting capacity, no one's going to die from getting a scene wrong or forgetting the lines. Then you're going to be able to deal with it. So when you know whatever life throws at you, you'll handle it. You don't really have anything to be afraid of. I think a lot of anxiety is self-made, innit? We catastrophize. We negatively stack. Who's guilty of that? Because I've done that before as well. You might lie in bed worrying about one little thing, and then before you know it, you've stacked another tiny little thing on top of that that's negative, and another one, another one, another one, another one. Before you know it, you've written your whole life off, and you've gone, oh my God, this is all going wrong. What if this happens? What if this happens? Teaching yourself to positively stack and expect good things to happen is good. I think you often get in life what you expect. And I think sometimes if you focus on the negatives, you almost sort of like may attract it to your life. But it is interesting. But I think in anything that's like that, when it's a theatre-based thing or any ensemble thing, communication is key. If you are feeling anxious about something, verbalize it. Talk to people within the cast about it. And you'll find a lot of people in the cast probably feeling the same way and are so grateful you brought it up. But it is always fascinating, the political dynamics of a cast, particularly if there's some there's some trauma that's going down within the cast, or somebody's had to leave or something like that. Let's have a look. I've seen a few times on social media that some people have been asked to pay a fee to join an agency, says Matt. That is a red flag. That is a warning shot fired. Any agency asks you to pay money, run a mile. It's bullshit. Do you know what annoys me? Do you know what really annoys me as well? And I've never been asked to do this. Shout out to all. I've not had many agents, to be honest. I did have I've had a couple in my time, 3, 4 agents, I think, in total. Even the bad ones out of those 4 never asked me to pay to put a photograph on their website. There's acting agents now, and they take a client on, and the first thing they ask them is to pay 40 quid or 50 quid for them to put their client's headshot on their website. Oh, that is absolutely ridiculous. If you believe so little in that client that you don't think you're going to make that 50 quid back in commission by getting them a couple of jobs, don't sign them. What are you doing? It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Yes, you might not be technically savvy, and you've got to ask a tech guy who's going to charge you 30 quid an hour or whatever to put the photographs on the website. And you want to make a little bit of profit on top of that? No, it's bad form. Agents should not be. It's within their interest to have their actors, photos and details on their website so that the agent earns money. They should be earning money out of getting actors jobs, not charging them to put photographs on websites. That pisses me off. I see it and I'm like, this is just wrong. So any agent out there doing that, I'm happy for you to come back at me with a real reason why you have to do that. That's fine. You might have a real great answer to that, but I just don't see it myself. I'm like, look, as if I was an agent, I'd be like, putting somebody's headshot up and paying someone to put a client I'm excited about to put their headshot up on my website. I should be more than happy to put that investment into the actor to start that relationship off in the right way. Me as an actor signing with an agent who's asking me for money straight away, I'm like, hang on a minute, this is not how it works. So yeah. Just an opinion. I could be wrong. I don't, you might think differently, but I just don't like that. Jen says, at auditions in the waiting room, should you focus on yourself before going in or be friendly and talk to others? What a great question, Jen. I'm concerned about feeling intimidated and losing focus, feeling imposter syndrome. Focus on yourself. 100%. Absolutely. So this is a British thing, I think, because we are so like, oh, be polite as British people. I see this. I've been guilty of this. I definitely have been guilty of this once at an audition where I did not give myself time to get in the zone because someone was talking to me and I felt like I had to help them out with something. I then got called into the room and was like, I'm just not in the right mindset for this. I'm still out there in the waiting room because I had not given myself time. Absolutely. Say to that person if they want to talk to you or whatever, say, I'm just going to give us 5 minutes with this. Definitely, I'll wait for you to go in and let's, if you know them and you're catching up, go, listen, let's go for a brew afterwards. But I'm here, to work right now. You have to focus on yourself because you will kick yourself. So many actors I meet are getting so few auditions that if you screw one up because you've just been talking in the reception, you will regret that so much and you'll resent that other person as well. Definitely focus on yourself. Sometimes you have to be, every time in life you have to be selfish in order to be selfless. So if you're selfish in that waiting room and you go on and you get that job and you earn some money and you're in a happy place, you're in such a better position, Jen, to be selfless with other people once you're in a good place. You've got to look after yourself first. People screw that up all the time, and again, particularly in the UK where we're taught as kids, in Britain, to put everyone else first. Oh no, you should put everyone else first. No, you shouldn't. I am proud to say that I put myself before everybody else in my inner circle, my family, everybody, so that I can be at a point where I can do anything they ask of me. I would do anything, obviously, for my family, for my friends, for my loved ones. But if I'm in a shit place, mentally, physically, I'm doing everything for everybody else, but I'm not looking after myself, I can't help people at the capacity I want to help them. Whereas if I go, right, first 2 hours of the day, my time, all about me, all about getting myself into a great place. So for the rest of the day, I can run this community, I can serve you guys, I can serve all my friends, all of my family. A dozen emails a day I'll get other people asking for advice. If I was in a bad place, I couldn't do that. So you have to be selfish. Sounds weird, but if you are selfish first, you can serve people so much better later. So focus on yourself in the waiting room. Alex says a £50 admin fee from a particular agent that I had a meeting with before signing with my current one. Yeah, it's bullshit, isn't it? Be a better agent. If you can't afford to put your actor's headshot on your website, just do a better job. Be a better agent, earn more commission. If you start, just work harder, basically. Don't ask your clients for money before together you've earned anything. It's not an agent's job to earn you money. It's a collaboration without a doubt. They don't work for you. You don't work for them. But I just think it's a bit one-sided to say, give us this money for this. It doesn't cost 50 quid to put a headshot on a website. I could put a headshot on a website in 3 minutes, So be careful. Yeah, I think that's just a way to supplement their income, and it's not right. Brennan says, I'm courteous. Say hi, sit down, shut up and tell myself I'm excited about going into the room and being the answers to their question. Yeah, it's about positive self-talk when you're in that reception as well. You know, being kind to yourself and, you know, incantations, looking at the scripts, getting hyped up, setting an intention. I find it's really powerful when you go, right, this is really powerful actually. And again, it sounds a bit woo-woo, but before you go into any room, any meeting, anyone, a first date, never mind an audition, whatever it would be, a meeting a family member, or I don't know, what is your intention? My intention is always, if I can, to leave the person I'm meeting better than I found them. Simple as that. It's my only intention. Yes, I want to put on a good performance if it's an audition, but my intention is to leave the people in that room better than I found them. More charged up, more hyped, more excited, happy that they're auditioning people, having, you know, even if I don't get the job, just like, you know what, isn't he a good person to be around? And you know what, hammered that home once when I'd been to an audition, and you know, when I don't know if you've ever done this, but I went to the audition, and then on the way out you go, just go to the loo before I get on the train. They go, oh yeah, the toilet's just down there. And I came back out of the toilet, and they thought I'd gone. The casting director had come out and thought I'd gone, and I heard them talking about me. Thank God it was good. As I came back out of the toilet, because it would have been cringe and horrific. I pretend I didn't hear anyway. But this person said, because I'd not auditioned for them for 2 years, just said, God, I forgot, you know, what a pleasure it is to be around him, because I was just happy to be there. You know, regardless of whether I was going to get the job or whatever, it was just super, super positive, and my intention was to just leave him better than I found him. And I did get that job. 20 minutes later, I got a phone call to say, yeah, you've got that job. And that was a decent role on a serial drama. And I don't know if my acting ability was better than anyone else there. It was probably on par with everyone else being seen. But I think they just went, you know what, it'll be all right to have on set. It'll be a good laugh to have on set. You know, it'll be positive to have on set. If there's any problems, he's probably better to have around than this guy who's pretty negative or whatever. So set your intention when you're in that waiting room for what you want to do when you're in the room. You won't always manage to do it, but, you know, it is better. It's better to focus on what you want to happen than what you don't want to happen. Angela says, thank you, Ross. It's all about the niche or the niche. Yeah, no, it is. Really, really is. When we were talking about that before with showreels, you might think you can do it all, and you probably, you know what, you probably can to a certain extent do a lot more than, you know, maybe your reel at the start of your career is showing. But for me, it's about how can I get my next role. That's all it is. That's what you need to realize your reel is as well. Like I said before, your reel's never finished. All your reel's job right now, its only purpose right now is to get you your next job. And at that point, your reel might change completely, because that next job gives you footage that changes the entire setup of the reel that just got you that job. And then at that point, the reel's job is just to get you your next job. It's never to get you jobs for the next 5 years. It will always change. I already know when Independence Day comes out, this BBC drama I've just shot, I already know the scene that I just shot, where it's going to go in my reel, and the scene it's going to replace. So my reel did me the job of getting this next job. Now, when I get that footage, it will change, and the only purpose of it at that point will be to get me the next job, not to get me the next 10 jobs, because it will evolve. So when you think of it like that, it's less daunting as well. It's like, how can I get the footage that I have now into a shape where it is most effective, you know, so that it can land me the next opportunity. And that's all it is, just an opportunity. How can this footage that I have get me the next self-tape? Who would I need to put this particular stuff in front of? I've got this material now. I've not got all the material in the world. I've just got this. And there's 70 casting directors who cast lots of different shows in TV right now. Which one of those 70 is going to resonate most with this that I have now? And that's the one or the two or the three that I'm going to focus on for now, because I've got this. And then when I get a job that might lend itself more to these 5 over here, then they'll get it. It's just about being specific and targeted. I think the more laser focused you can be, the better. And I think when you're outside of the industry, you said this the other day briefly, but when you're outside of the industry, here's a little sneak peek into what people on the First TV Role Fast Track course we're going to go into on the Sunday with Chris Stone. But the further out of the industry you are, in terms of when you're first starting out and you feel right on the outside of it, you've got no roles, you feel an imposter, you feel like you're not on the inside, you've not got through the door yet, there's an impenetrable wall of concrete around the industry and you can't get through it. You have to be, the further you are away, you have to be like the sniper. You have to be really targeted. To go, right, I've got to take that one person out with a headshot if I were a sniper trying to get into the industry. So to break through the barriers, you've got to take out the guards on the outside. So there'll be just a couple of them walking the perimeter fence. You've got to be so specific and targeted. And then when you get inside, once you've got some credits under your belt and you've got some proof of your work, then you've got more casting directors that you could potentially work for, almost like a zombie horde coming towards you. Then you get your shotgun out and spread your bullets out. You can get like 8 in one shot. You've got to think about your career like that, because the more specific you can be when you're entering the industry, the more chance you've got of getting through that wall, and then you've just got a load of opportunity to aim at, and you're going to need a bigger gun. Well, a gun that's got more spray. So I think, not that I like guns, so maybe it's a bad analogy, but yeah, think of it like that. And that's what a lot of people don't do. They go the opposite way round. They're up on the hilltop trying to get in, shooting a shotgun, and the bullets aren't even reaching. So have a little think about that. I think it's quite a good analogy. Alex says he likes the analogy. It was Chris Stone. It's Chris Stone who came up with that. We're going to go through it properly though, with the fast track people on Sunday in Chris's session. Right, we have got 6 minutes left. So, have I got anything that I want to show you? Have I got anything here that I want to show you? I don't think I've got anything new. I played you the Chris Stone. I played you Chris Stone's little mashup. I'll play that again at the end. Oh, what I do want to say, members of actsonthis.tv, don't forget, it's come around fast, hasn't it? Tomorrow night, let's go on to the weekly schedule. Tomorrow evening, actsonthis.tv/live, if you want to check the schedule out. It's only our bloody cocktails and conversations summer networking night, isn't it? So if you want a drink, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, totally up to you. Get yourself along. If you've not got a membership, you can come and take part in this. If you get a membership, we're going to do breakout rooms tomorrow night on Zoom. You'll get to meet actors you've never met before, connect with actors you've met before, hopefully. Ask questions, just meet people in the community, feel part of something. I think the community in Acts on This is incredible. Like, we've got the best, most supportive, motivated, inspired community of actors I've ever known. People come to actsonthis.tv for the content, in terms of they'll see, like, the week after we got Jessica Jeffries coming on to do a session with us on Zoom all about motion capture and performance capture and working in video games and CGI and stuff. Week after that, we got David Crowley, a Hollyoaks director. We've got a great agent coming on the week after that. We've got an incredible actor from Ricky Gervais's Afterlife on the week after that. People come to Acts on This for the content. Let me know in the comments if this is true. So I say this, you come for the content, I think people stay for the community. That's what I think they do, because we've got the best community. One of these things will pique the interest of someone. I go, oh, that's really cool. And yes, we do these every single week, and you will get to have sessions, like I say, for less than most people charge you for one session. You'll get 7 of these a month for just £6 a week. It's the best value you'll get in the acting industry, full stop. But I think what's even better than that is the community that we have, because people have made literally lifelong friends in this community, and they collaborate and they create work. Sandra right now from Germany's over in Manchester to meet people from the community. We will come and get a brew. Me and Petra will come and get a brew on Wednesday with you, Sandra. We'll grab an hour for that. It's going to be a crazy, crazy week, so probably only have an hour, but we will do that. We just got the best community. But the Cocktails and Conversation tomorrow night is 7:30 p.m. Probably wrap it up about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Just a couple of hours. Drop in whenever you want. These sessions on Zoom are just drop in, drop out when you like. If you can only make it for half an hour, from 8 till 8:30 or whatever, just come and hang out from 8 till 8:30. It's totally cool. We'll get you in a breakout group. You'll get to meet people. And I know it's a bit daunting when you join a Zoom call and you're going to be on camera and you don't know people, right? I get that. It's really, I've done a few of these now in other programs that I'm a part of. And it is a little bit nerve-wracking, even when you're used to Zoom. But trust me, everyone's so lovely and nice. Just come and get involved. You won't regret it. You'll be really, really happy by the end of it that you did get involved. Let's have a look. So Brendan, Brendan, your film did really well, didn't it? So since I put the scenes from my BAFTA-winning film on my reel, doors are flying open. But hopefully you got some really good. Well, clearly you got some really good footage from it, mate. So that's good to hear. Sophia says, "Will you do the Bulletproof Actor course again?" Yeah, I really want to, Sophia. I mean, I'm focusing obviously all on the first TV or fast track course right now. It's a massive undertaking. I can't tell you. If I'm a bit off the grid this week, if people are emailing me or tweeting me or messaging me and I'm not replying, It's just because this week is a proper heavy week, getting ready for this weekend. I'll be much more free next week and the week after. But yeah, I'm going to focus on this for now. I would like to do a Bulletproof Actor weekend, maybe. It's all about mindset, guys. It's based on scientific high-performance mindset. I got obsessed with it about 12 years ago. It changed my life massively in huge, huge ways. And I put a program together called Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success, which some really high-profile people went through in the end and have gone on to do amazing things because they got out of their own way. Not because I'm so amazing. This teaching is stuff that I've been taught over the years, and I've probably read, God, I don't know, every personal development book on the planet and high performance book on the planet. So it's all stuff that's based in science, that other people have gone and proven, and I've implemented into my own life and my career. And I'm just, I've just sort of cherry picked all the best stuff and put it into a program. But I would love to do it. I love the live aspect. Since the pandemic, one thing that's come out of it that I love is how everything is live. And we do, yes, I know a lot of people will be zoomed out, and you're probably sick of seeing a video screen and that sort of thing. And we will do some more stuff in person. But having the ability to break all geographical boundaries and bring actors together from all over the country, you don't have to pay hundreds of pounds in travel and hotels overnight if we did something in person. They can get access to this stuff much more, it's much more affordable. I love it. So I would love to do again a Saturday and a Sunday maybe where we just do an intense weekend on mindset that actually is not just applicable for your acting career. It will change every area of your life. And that's what's amazing. Literally, people transform their lives with this in every area, whether it's within their relationships, because it applies to that, in their, their wealth, health, happiness, body composition, spirituality, emotional mastery, business, all kinds of areas, because the sort of the things that we go through are really universal in terms of, how you can apply them to every area of your life. Because in most areas, the human condition, myself included, we are wired to get in our own way, keep ourselves safe, hold on to our bag of shit for dear life. It's like, no, I'm in a hole, but it's my hole. Get away. Don't try and pull me out, because it's familiar. People don't like change. People don't like stretching themselves. People don't like lofty goals, getting out of their comfort zone. Making themselves do things they've never done before, myself included. It's scary sometimes, but it's freaking exhilarating when you do it and you go, oh my God, I'm so glad I did that. So yeah, I would love to do that again, but it will be probably end of the year. I think maybe if we were going to do it, how I used to do it, I always did it in November, because it used to be over a 5-week period. It won't be now. I'll probably do it over an intense weekend, but maybe we'll do it at the end of the year. What I like to do is stuff like this in the end of November, early December, so that you can go into Christmas and really relax, because you've done the work in the first half of December, knowing exactly what you're going to do to start the next year in the first week of January. Whereas what most people do is they go into party mode in November, and then they like stumble into Christmas hungover. They crawl out of Christmas even more hungover, and it's not really till February till they get going. Whereas the actors I work with, I like to get everything together in December, late November, early December, get you super pumped up, so you can go and have a really lovely time at Christmas, knowing you've already done the work. And then you come back to January refreshed with a plan, which means you instantly get ahead of everyone else. I love the last 6 weeks of the year, because I'll let everyone else go out and do all that shit and all that partying and everything like that. Yes, I'll relax and enjoy myself, when the time comes. But it's a fantastic opportunity, I feel, to get ahead of everybody else, because they're all out, looking for instant gratification, and they're going to be gutted in January when they've got to start again. Whereas you do all of the work, enjoy the 2 weeks at Christmas because you've spent December hustling, and then you start in January like, come on, let's go. So maybe we'll do that. Definitely. When do we anticipate actual monthly meetups in person, Brendan? I would say from maybe even September, mate, depending on the COVID levels. I mean, I am, I know it's all controversial and stuff because everyone has different political views. I am very, very cautious, just how I am and how I'm wired as a person. I'm very, and don't hate me for this, people. I know people have different opinions and stuff, but I'm really pro-mask, pro-vaccine, keep everybody safe. I'm seeing more and more stories in the news of, people unfortunately who didn't get vaccinated, whose families are like, they so regretted not getting vaccinated. Now this person is unfortunately lost their life and stuff. I would hate to, as a leader of a community like this, put people into a situation where something did happen to them because I'd arranged an event, and then something happens to them. So I'm always going to err on the side of caution, Brendan. But when I believe it's truly safe, which could even be within the next 4 to 6 weeks, when hopefully, cases are really declining. I hope that's how it goes. I mean, none of us know, do we? I would love to do some in-person meetups, though. I would love to do it. But I am just by my nature very cautious. And all that is, don't judge me for that, anybody who's like more pro risk, is I feel I've got so much living to do. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm so grateful for my life. And I feel that I've got 60 years left. There's nothing I would risk for that. There's nothing on earth, bar my family. If it was like, look, you've got to jump into this river and save your mom, of course I'll do it. But anything that's unnecessary, I'm like, I've got so much good to do, so much living to do, so much freaking fun to have. I'm more than happy to give up 2 years of my life, the year we've just given up, and a little bit more, to live for the next 60 and have a bloody good time. So yeah, I really, I just want to make sure everybody's very safe and happy, and then I would love to see people again. It's been such a long time since we've been, in person at the Acts on This meetups, and we've got a beautiful venue in Manchester now, 532, brand new venue. We used to hold our meetups at Home Theatre. And that's great. Home, I love you, Home. If you're watching, don't think you are. But 532, I want to support because they're smaller, they're more independent. I think Simon Naylor and Alexandra Maxwell are amazing. We've had them on the site, the people who are behind 532, and not just them, the whole team. It's a huge team effort. But I'd love to support the little guys a little bit more. Home get millions of grants and stuff like that. It's a huge. Yes, it's an independent theatre, but it's massive. And I still want to support you, Home. I still love you. I'll still go and watch stuff there. But 532 are just dead little. But they work so hard for our community and for the theatre world, and just to get theatre back up on its feet. So I would love to do some meetups there and just help them by going there and buying drinks and coffee and cake on a Saturday morning when we do our meetups. So yes, we'll definitely aim for that 100%. Jo says she's never been to Manchester. Jo, you have never lived, girl. Come on. Well, when we open up, Jo, get yourself here. And Anthony says, another 60 years, I'd be 111. And, mate, you're getting there. This is what makes me a little bit jealous, actually. But, like, generations after me, and, like, maybe, I don't know, I'm 39 this year. This is where you also, Ross, you don't look over 21. I go, thanks very much. There's generations, I don't know, maybe 2, 3 after me, and I genuinely think with the way that the world, well, bar bloody pandemics and stuff, but the way medicine's going, I'm like, you guys, God, like it's not gonna be abnormal for you to be getting to 110, 120. Maybe not much more than that. I don't know how medicine's gonna go, but I fully expect to get to 100 years old. It's my main goal in life. Forget acting, everything else. I just want to get to 100 to go, yeah, I did that, and that's why I am cautious and I look after myself. I'm not going to be doing any skydiving, or any bungee jumping. Yes, I know it's exhilarating. Too much of a risk. Would I risk 60 years of joy for 15 seconds of exhilaration? No, I'll just go on the big one at Alton Towers. It's not even at Alton Towers, is it? At Blackpool. I'll just do that instead because I know that's more safe, and I have done that plenty of times. So yeah, here's one of the 60 years for all of us. Just so everyone here, though, regardless of your age, you've got so much more time. That's what I'd say. I'll finish with this because I've got to go. But you've got so much more time on the clock than you probably appreciate. Those people. So Jen, perfect. I'm 50 in November, she said. Jen, you're not even at half time. That's the beautiful thing. Go back to your very first memory of 3, 4 years old, whenever you can first remember. And that probably at the same time, seems very like yesterday. But when you think of what you've done since then, it's a long, long time ago. You've got that whole life to live again. So anyone who's like, I'm only coming to the acting industry at 65, at 70. So you've got almost as long as I've been alive to do it again. Come on, let's not have this thing society's dictated to us and lied to us about going, oh, if you don't have everything sorted by 30, you don't have a child by 35 and a house, and you're not married by 40, and you've not got grandkids by 50, and all this sort of bullshit. You've got so much time on the clock, and you are on time for you. You are perfectly on time. No one's early or late. You're on your own clock, and you've got plenty of time on it. Definitely. Brendan, you're getting to 120, mate. You're a nurse. If you don't know how to look after yourself, I don't know who does. You should be proper COVID vaccine up. I'd be like, every time I went into work, I'd be like, give us one of them. I'll take one of the Modernas today. Oh yeah, got any AstraZeneca? Got to be careful with that though. I think too many vaccines can spoil. Too many vaccines can spoil the broth. It's not the phrase, is it? Too many cooks can spoil the broth. Right, I'm going. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and those listening on the replay, I really appreciate you. And Anthony says he's a fully paid up member of the Self-Preservation Club. I'm with you on that, 100%. Definitely. Brendan's like a pin cushion with all of his vaccines. Right, thank you so much. I will play. I'll just play this little trailer out. It's all I've got lined up video wise of Chris Stone's showreel surgery that we did with him last week. Don't forget, tomorrow night 7:30 p.m. Come and have a drink with us in the Acts on This community for our cocktails and conversation evening. And those people who are joining me next weekend for First TV Role Fast Track, it's going to be absolutely incredible. If you want to find out what it is a big commitment. I understand that. I really appreciate that. But if you are ready to go all in on your acting career and aim to get that First TV credit before Christmas, I would love to work with you, have you in the group, actonthis.tv/first role. Tickets will be available, I don't know, probably till Wednesday night, Thursday morning, something like that. Then they'll come down because the event, obviously will be Saturday morning. And actonthis.tv/training, if you quickly want to go and get a little bite-sized sort of sneak peek at what we're going to be covering in much more detail over the full weekend, actonthis.tv/training. Right, so I'll line this video up. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate you all. Have an amazing rest of the week. Expect good things to happen. Remember, you've got plenty of time left on the clock. You are in control. Set your intention to leave people better than you found them, and life will be beautiful. Magic things happen when you operate from that perspective. Help other people get what they want out of their lives. You'll get everything you want out of yours. Until next time, lots of love, everybody. Bye for now. In my opinion, the very best showreel producer in the UK, Mr. Chris Stone, back for another episode of Showreel Surgery Live. Chris, how are you? I always show a new scene that you have shot.
This is as close to James as possible. We had a very, very long conversation. James is such the nicest guy ever, but we really figured out what his casting type is.
Repairman, meet my agent, Andrew Adams. Andrew, meet Repairman.
Hello, my name's Dennis, and I'm an actor, and I'm seeking representation.
What's new in the world of showreels, and what things are tripping actors up?
This is an interesting one. I don't think we've ever discussed this before, but couples in real life don't necessarily work well on film.
Some very basic showreel secrets here, and you can take a screenshot of these things. There's only 8 of them, and I just want you to think of these when we are watching these reels tonight, okay?
Well, it sounds to me like you were counting down the days.
No, not exactly. See, the thing is, I saw that boy do so much more than I thought he ever would. When he was first diagnosed, they gave him 4 years to live, and in the end, he had nearly 6.
Even though I really like the first scene with the son, try and put Corrie first.
It's very straightforward. The majority of it goes to Tess as his lawful wedded wife, and the rest of it's divided equally between the 3 children.
Sorry, what do you mean 3 children?
Oh.
The cheating bastard!
Siobhan Finner is one of the biggest actresses in the country, Tim. So you've got absolutely, casting directors will breathe a sigh of relief when they see people like this, you play in those supporting roles, because I can completely trust him.
I need to know who you really are.
Boom, headshot.
Who is he?
Bang.
It's a great cliffhanger ending, because it's like, who is he? I want to know.
John's got there. John Joseph Showreel Edit 2021. Bernard says Showreel 2020. Lindsay says 2021. I would take the dates out of the reels.